So we just had a relatively large custom machining order come in for a scientific apparatus. I wanted to show you the process of how that looks internally. What happens when you send those drawings in or when you contact us and want us to help you build something custom for your laboratory. The first thing that'll happen is it'll come to me here in the office and I will start working up a quote. I'll assign it a job number so we can track it internally and start seeing who I need to talk to on our team about getting that apparatus built. Do I need to talk to mechanical only? Do I need to talk to electronics? What about administrative in terms of getting the documentation all set up so that we can do business with your university or your lab or your company so we know how to get paid, you know how to pay us and all of that. So first, there's the administrative steps that happen here. Also, I'll probably do some rudimentary design for manufacturing analysis and talk to you about your actual goals for the project. In fact, we have a whole process that we walk you through when you're working with us for the first time. And we're not going to go into detail on that, but we'll call it onboarding and the initial analysis of your project. And that happens right here. So once the team's on the same page, after we've had our meeting to discuss how we're going to tackle the project and divide up the tasks, we'll put those into our task management system and we'll put orders in for the materials that are needed. That gets ordered and then it comes in here to shipping and receiving. So that gets tracked. Everything that gets ordered gets tracked with your job code. And those materials get put on a shelf with the person's name on it who's going to be processing that material as the first step. They'll take that material when they're ready to do the job and they'll put it in a bin for your project. And this is what one of those bins looks like. So we've got different sizes. They're just plain old bins and we have Velcro dots on them and we have Velcro dots on these tags. So this tag specifically is a work in progress tag, which would be what's going on because this is raw material. So we'll put who you are, what the project is, the project code, and what's in the bin on this tag. We'll stick it on here and then it will go on the shelf of work in progress. And that shelf is going to look something like this. There's a lot of yellow tags here. And when we're ready to work on that job, we'll come get the bin with the yellow tag appropriate to it and take it in for processing. Now, depending on the nature of your job, it might go over to the laser station. If it's going to be laser cut material or laser engraved material, we have a variety of lasers over here to do that. Or it may be going back either through assembly or 3D printing or into electronics processing where circuit boards would get assembled and things like that. In this job's case though, it's mostly mechanical. So that bin will come through here and into the machining area, where it's either going to be CNC milled or turned on a CNC lathe, or in some cases, we'll do it on manual mills and lathes. If it's fabrication work, more heavy metal work, it would come in here to the plasma sandblasting grinding area. And once all the pieces are cut, then it would come over to welding and be welded together. So again, in this particular job's case, we're dealing mostly with machined parts. In fact, many of them are lathe parts. So they're going to be processed right here. Then the bin would go back to the shelf and it would be ready for inspection. So what does inspection mean? It means that somebody who's not the person that made the part is going to look at it and verify that it is built correctly, it's built to spec. We do that because if you made the part, you might be a little biased to not want to remake it, especially if it was a part that was difficult to do, right? We're all humans. So then it would come over to the inspection area with somebody else that didn't make it, and they would take a look at it. This is the inspection and testing area. It doesn't look like a lot, really, but it's probably one of the most expensive areas in the shop. So we've got a little workbench, some red and green highlighters, and we're going to do some gridfinity here to organize this. And then we have our standards and calibrations. So in this cabinet back here, we've got all of our calibration standards, load cells, pressure gauges, and so on. But then in this cabinet, since this is largely a mechanical job, this is where all of the inspection equipment will be that we're going to be using. So for example, there's micrometers, bigger micrometers, even bigger micrometers, and if you can guess it again, really big micrometers. There's calipers and depth gauges, radius gauges, bore mics, thread gauges, all kinds of stuff here, all to make sure that we made the parts correctly. So inspection is a really crucial part to make sure that you get parts that work together, that meet the specifications that either you told us or that we designed in internally. So then after inspection, it'll be signed off and it's going to come back up here to the shelves, but this time there's going to be a change. That yellow tag is going to come off because it's no longer work in progress, and it will get a green tag. It's a complete preparing for shipment tag. That'll go back on the shelf, and when everything for your project is done and ready for shipment, it'll get boxed up and shipped out right from here. At the end of the day, I want to make sure that everything that comes out of here is high quality because, after all, my last name's the one that's on the front door, and ultimately, I'm responsible. I can't touch every single piece of material that goes through the shop, so that's why we have processes in place like inspection, and our team is very, very focused on making sure that we give you the best possible product we can. No matter if you came to us with a napkin drawing or with fully planned machining drawings, we're here to help you take your project from nothing to a completed project as quickly as possible. And it's really important to me that we do it here all in Northwest Arkansas. We try to outsource as little work as we can. We try to keep our jobs local, buy domestic materials, and really try to show that American craftsmanship is still alive. So if you want to get a project on the work in progress shelf, just drop us a line. You can go to our website and hit contact us, and we're happy to talk to you about your project. To see how this project moves along, as well as other things going on in our shop, don't forget to like and subscribe.